Hi there, MMS Debunked here again. I've been just racking my brain over the last week trying to figure out how I can nail this MMS point. I've made this video about Facebook which clearly shows that there's just no interest in MMS on Facebook whatsoever. You know, out of 800 million users, there's barely a peep. But MMS supporters still get on my back. They come up with so many different points and it's just so hard to deflect them all. I'd need a video that was 10 hours long to address every single point. I've been trying to script it. I thought I'd give it a crack and just try to freestyle it. That's about as honest as I can be. And it all comes back to this interesting comment which reflects the majority view, I think, of MMS supporters. It's from the Union 5, my biggest fan. He says many people are reporting getting healthy after using MMS and even curing their illnesses. The only problem is that when you read those testimonials, you start raving about how the websites are all propaganda sites for Archbishop Jim Humble. Now, I did not say that in my video. What I said was that there are Jim Humble propaganda sites, which there are. I mean, you can Google it. There are sites that are set up by Jim Humble, and the majority of the testimonials appear on those sites. Now, if MMS was really curing a lot of people, then you'd expect testimonials on other sites like Facebook. We don't see that. Anyway, talk about conspiratorial thinking. Do you not think someone would come clean and admit to writing all those testimonials over all these years if that was the case? Or maybe it was done by the same person. Your thinking is beyond offensively slow. Now, see, he's made a big mistake. I never claimed that people who write these testimonials are lying or that one person is writing a lot of them. The people that are writing these testimonials could be perfectly genuine and honest people. Look, it doesn't take someone stupid to be mistaken. Everyone can be mistaken. This is something that I think a lot of MMS supporters fail to comprehend. Even the smartest people on the world can make mistakes. The thing is, diseases come and go in waves. Sometimes you feel better, sometimes you feel worse. There's things like placebo effect. Even warts and things like that can go away by themselves. If you have 1 million people with a wart and you tell them to rub, anything on it, you tell them to rub a piece of cheese on it, guaranteed some of those people's warts will disappear and they will thank you for giving them the magic cheese that made their wart disappear. Anyway, I'm ranting. Let's get to the point. I can't work out a better way to demonstrate this ridiculous notion that there are so many testimonials except for jumping straight into the lion's den. So let's have a look. While we're looking at this forum, you have to keep in mind that Jim Humble claims that MMS cures malaria in 4 hours to 1 day. Malaria is quite a serious parasitic disease. It's not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. Also, Jim Humble states in his book that 390 AIDS patients were cured in 1 month, with the exception of 2 deaths. So, I mean, really low death rate. And he's cured nearly 400 people in a month. Okay, keep that in mind because, that's incredible results, right? So, where are we going to go first? We're going to go to the main Genesis 2 forum right here. Now, this is why I call it the Jim Humble propaganda. For the record, I deleted 2 posts from this thread that were reported to me as anti-MMS propaganda. So this guy didn't even sort of identify it as anti-MMS propaganda. They were reported as anti-MMS propaganda, so he deleted 2 posts. The other thing I've noticed here is that you get these banned users. I mean, this guy started in December 2010. This is important. This forum is, well over a year old. Don't think this is a new forum. That's another thing to keep in mind. So they ban users and they delete posts which are anti-MMS. This is why I called it an MMS propaganda site. If they're deleting posts for people who are, criticizing it, there's no way they'd let me join and voice my opinion. So let's have a look. Let's have a look what we got here. Remember, this is the main forum for MMS. It's the Genesis 2 forum, and we're going to click on testimonials with results and pathologies. Now have a look at this. Pay close attention. You can do this yourself. So we have 1 page of posts here, testimonials with results and pathologies. Now, I just want to bring your attention to 5 kinds of testimonials, which you'll see quite frequently, but they actually don't count, and I'll explain why. First is minor infections and topical skin conditions. So things like athlete's foot, a rash, a mouth ulcer. MMS is a disinfectant, so anything that you would expect normally a disinfectant to cure doesn't count as a miracle. You certainly don't drink these disinfectants, you wipe them on the affected area. 2 are self-limiting diseases, so things like the cold and flu and hepatitis. Hepatitis sounds pretty serious, but actually most cases of hepatitis clear up with no treatment. So saying that MMS cured you of hepatitis is not a miracle either. 3 are what I call fringe conditions, things like Magellan's disease and chronic Lyme disease, conditions which there are people who claim to be suffering from them, but the medical community does not really understand or acknowledge. This video is not about those conditions, so I don't want to get into them, but it's enough to know that they're a magnet to all sorts of alternative treatments. Just Google Magellan's treatment. You'll see there's more treatment offers than you can poke a stick at. This makes these conditions very poor to judge the efficacy of MMS. 4 is self-diagnosed conditions or very subjective conditions like asthma and arthritis. Some people claim that they got swine flu or MRSA or something. I'm not saying that I don't believe these people, but definitely get the sense that some of these people haven't actually seen a doctor and they just have some flu symptoms, and so they think that they got the swine flu. Again, swine flu is self-limiting. It goes away by itself, so it's not a miracle cure. And things like asthma and arthritis, they're very, very subjective conditions. You can have days, weeks, or months where you don't have any symptoms from those things. So again, they're very, very poor at judging the efficacy of MMS. And 5, I like to call the single poster. They just turn up on a forum, they just started using MMS, they don't really know anything about it, they don't really have a diagnosed condition, but they say it's made them feel great. These don't count. People, when they start a new treatment, of course they're going to feel better. They've sort of injected a bit of hope into their life. They're not going to say they feel like crap. You know, most of these people still will admit that they're getting, vomiting and diarrhea, but they're still feeling great for it. But they very rarely come back to actually report that there's been any long-lasting health benefit. So look, those 5 categories we don't count. So what are we looking for? You might think that I've just eliminated every disease on the planet, but, trust me, we haven't. What we're looking for is the hard hitters. We're looking for the cancers, the AIDS, the herpes, the kind of diseases that you can't just shrug off, malaria. Anyway, let's just start having a quick look at a few. The other thing that you need to look at, how many of these forum administrators are reposting testimonials here. They're copies of testimonials that they're not actually testimonials. They come from other sources like Jim Humble's site, which I won't count. We're not counting it. It has to be a testimonial from a user. So Simone, I've actually come across her on YouTube. That's funny. She talks about how her asthma got better. Remember what I said about asthma? This is a pretty weak testimonial. The thing you have to keep in mind is that even lots of weak testimonials don't add up to good testimonials. We're looking for good testimonials, which if MMS was half the miracle cure that Jim claims it would be, we should have lots of good testimonials. So this one doesn't really count. Just one post on here. She's a little bit of a kooky old lady, but, she's funny, God bless her. Ganglion cysts. Now, ganglion cysts, I've prepared a search here. Not a serious condition. Out of the untreated ganglia, 58% resolved spontaneously. So not a miracle cure. Next. Okay, so Michael Hurrah we're ignoring because these are posted from Jim Humble's site. And who knows what Jim Humble posts, right? You're going to say, but I'm dismissing it as propaganda. Let's just stick to this site. This is the propaganda site that we're looking at, not Jim Humble's other sites. This guy, Michael Hurrah, he's an administrator of this forum. He's just pasting in these right off Jim's site. Scabies. I could almost believe scabies. It's a skin condition. But let's leave that one. Acne cured overnight, right off Jim's site. Again, right off Jim's site. MMS and chiggers. Chigger bites. Okay, insect bites. Again, a skin condition thing. ALS, Eric Swimming, Michael Hurrah, copied. Anyone have positive experience with MMS and parasites? That's not a testimonial. It's a dude asking a question. Blisters and hand sores. Again, a skin thing, right? Chronic cold virus cured with MMS1. Look, like I said, a cold is a self-limiting disease. It doesn't count. Colds go away by themselves. You can't possibly know when your body is going to get rid of your cold. Anyone who claims to know that their cold was cut short because they took some medicine simply doesn't understand how a cold works. That's all there is to it. So, look, we've actually gone through this whole page and there's not a single testimonial on here. This is the Genesis 2 forums, Jim Humble's main site, okay? We're not mucking around here. We're in the lion's den. Remember? So, results of my first trial. Remember what I said? First trial. This guy, Man of Bliss. I'm learning all about MMS. I did my first trial. Where is he? Where'd he go? He hasn't come back. When did he post this? 19th of August, 2011. Why hasn't he come back to report the great, success that he's had? Please post your testimonials. Crazy question. Does it help with hair loss? Asthma healed. Remember what I said about asthma? It doesn't count. And MRSA, can anyone give me feedback? This isn't even a testimonial, it's can anyone give me feedback? Let's have a look. Charlie, one post, can anyone give me any feedback? Why didn't they come back to say, you know, MMS cured them of MRSA? We're in the lion's den, my first drink. Again, another first testimonial. An excited, happy user, Aloha Girl, back in February 2012, so we're getting pretty early. Oh, I can't wait, you know, thanks. And here's another question. So they're still asking questions. Thanks, Pam. I'm very relieved, actually. So she hasn't come back to report how great it's been. My first drink, boils and MMS. I'm using MMS with the ultimate goal. So again, not a testimonial. CDS helped me with protocols, CDF for skin cancer. That I've translated that page. It's someone asking for help. Help, papillomavirus, again. Eye floaters, that's not a testimonial. MMS kidney cancer success. Now, this I'm going to save for later. This forum is important, not a testimonial. Allergic rhinitis. Anyone report experience with allergic rhinitis? Not a testimonial. The best evidence that MMS is working I have in my file. It's a dude that has these pretty gross photos. Now look, I sort of studied them. I mean, that's pretty gross, sorry. But look, it's got better. It's a topical skin condition. So what I said, you don't need MMS to treat this. And you don't drink it, certainly. So that's category 1. Thyroid testimonial, is that CLO2? I can't remember what that one is. Cholesterol, I have one question. Does MMS abolish cholesterol? Not a testimonial. Sodium chloride for extending the life of milk. Okay, not a testimonial. Sickle cell anemia, how important is it to, you know, mix the fluid? It's not, that's not a testimonial. My experience, MMS, this dude with some horrible disease, and Hep C beta. So these are just recent. Thyroid testimonial. This person's talking to their neighbor and someone's using CDS and they just had a chat. Now, no one's cured there. There's no testimonial in there. My experience, this dude has got X-linked agammaglobulinemia. He's not cured of that. He said he's had some rotten tooth or broken tooth abscess come out. Hep C beta, like I said, Hep C is a self-limiting disease. 40 to 80% of cases of Hep C clear without treatment. So that's not a miracle at all. Look, this video is already 12 minutes long, but you're sort of getting the gist. Now this, when I saw it, I thought it was the best testimonial that I'd actually seen. There's these great CT scans, and I thought this is what the testimonials should look like. If you actually read this from start to finish, this guy's had a cancerous tumor in one of his kidneys and another tumor in another one of his kidneys for about 15 months, and they haven't been growing. He started taking MMS and they shrunk. Now, that sounds pretty good. His left kidney tumor, which I believe was diagnosed as cancerous, shrunk from 20 millimeters to 14 millimeters. His right kidney tumor, which wasn't diagnosed as cancerous, 11 millimeters, now it's 8 millimeters. The thing about these tumors is, now, if you go through this guy's whole posts, he hasn't been cured. He says that he believes MMS shrunk his tumors now by about a quarter, and here by about 3 millimeters. That's not what I call a miracle. I'm sorry. That's still a cancerous tumor, as far as we know. He hasn't come back to report. He wrote this 9th of March, 2011, and he's written 13 posts. Now, why hasn't he come back to say that he's tumor-free? His last post was to talk about, that was his last post. I just said thanks. Now, this audio here, this is still back in March 2011. He never came back to say that he's completely cured of cancer. So that's the best testimonial that we've got on the testimonials and test results with pathologies. Now, there is this thing here, which is another category where you can drill down and actually have a look at these other topics. So let's just have a quick look at a couple. This video is already 15 minutes. It's taken too long. My husband has been having memory problems. Will MMS help him? It's not a testimonial. This excellent testimonial was posted in a Yahoo group. It's Michael Hurrah, the administrator, copying it from somewhere else. That doesn't count. MMS DSMO with prescription drugs. Not a testimonial. Animal conditions. This guy Paul is a joker. He puts MMS out for his cat and his horse and his bees, and he puts it in the testimonial thread. Dog groin rash. Again, groin rash. Topical skin condition. Heartworms. It's actually questions. Mystery virus kills thousands of lambs, nothing to do with that. Mr. Paul with his emu. Protocol for horses, not a testimonial. Animal diabetes, what is diabetes? Not a testimonial. Dog with tumor and blindness. Look, I've gone through every single one of these, and there is barely a testimonial except for these topical skin conditions. Even if you go to cancers, I'm going to skip all these because believe me, they're all the same. To HIV. Now, cancer and HIV should be the big winners. I'm going to skip autism, there's nothing there. So cancer, my journey which I plan to conquer, not a testimonial. Started 20th of March 2012. I'm about to be diagnosed, not a testimonial. Tumor has caused bowel blockage. I'm in urgent need of advice, not a testimonial. MMS, I'd like to hear the treatment experiences by using MMS, not a testimonial. Anyone here have experience with leukemia, not a testimonial. I'm new to this forum and new to MMS, not a testimonial. Then none of these are testimonials. It's crazy. HIV, same thing. When to retake CD4 counts. HIV stories being rewritten. House of Numbers, it's a doco. Tree of Life, coconut heals HIV. Are you kidding? I thought MMS cured HIV. Why do you need coconut? HIV and cancer. I've been doing research. It's not a testimonial. Some other umlingo wamagaskoli magic food from Africa which cures AIDS. Why do you need it? MMS cures AIDS, doesn't it? The AIDS scam. HIV undetectable. Now, this is the one testimonial in the whole thing. Let's leave it for a second. The food intake protocol. Probiotics. Blessed seed Nigella sativa cures HIV. Again, blessed seed Nigella sativa. MMS cures it, I thought. I'm new to MMS. What really causes AIDS, sorry. Really important question. My experiences. None of this is HIV testimonials. MMS for HIV testimonial posted by an administrator. Look, if you're not getting the gist of this, I don't know if you ever will. So, look, just to finish up really quick, so that it doesn't look like I'm trying to ignore anything. There is this HIV undetectable post started here on the 13th of April. It looks like it could be a genuine testimonial. I'll admit it looks like it. If this was the first genuine HIV negative test after someone who has had AIDS, it would be the first in this forum. This is certainly the exception, not the rule. Now remember, Jim Humble said that he cured 400 AIDS patients in 1 month. Now, if this is the first one, there's other explanations. I know people who believe in MMS are going to call me cynical, but there is a possibility that this person was misdiagnosed. Tests are not 100% accurate. There's this detection level here mentioned in the test. The person says that after 3 months they have to go for some retests. So it's certainly not cut and dry. Now, obviously, MMS supporters will just trot this one out and say, this is it. This is the one that we need. If there was 400 of these here, I would start saying, okay, there's something to this MMS. There's one after something like 15 months or 18 months. Okay, so let's not start splitting hairs about what one testimonial on here means. What it means is there's not 400, because if we weren't kidding ourselves, that's what it would take. On this forum, there's no censorship except for that doled out by the administrators. There's no, what else do they say? They say that people are afraid or ashamed to admit it. There's nothing but support here. There is absolutely no reason why people would not come to this website and share their success stories. I've honestly been as generous as I possibly can while still remaining critical. This is the primary forum for Jim Humble's Genesis 2 Church organization. There is no more direct source that I could examine. The simple fact is, it just does not add up. Jim Humble claims that millions of people have been cured and that thousands of people have left testimonials. It's simply not the case. There's only one explanation. MMS is a scam.